Commander Ethan Hayes stood at the window of the command center, looking out over Earth. The planet he had sworn to protect seemed peaceful, but the silence in the room told a different story. The galaxy was watching, and not all of its inhabitants were friendly. The Galactic Council, a powerful group of alien races, had already dismissed Earth's Space Force as nothing more than a joke. Earth was a young species, and their technology was nowhere near as advanced as the others in the galaxy. Yet, humanity was not weak. They had something the aliens could never understand, the will to fight for survival. Ethan had faced this challenge before. He knew that no matter how many times they were told they were outmatched, humanity had a way of surprising those who underestimated them. His crew trusted him, and his fleet was ready. But he couldn't shake the feeling that the hardest part was yet to come. Captain Lila Morgan, his most trusted officer, entered the room. She was a strategist, and her sharp mind had helped turn many impossible situations in their favor. "Commander," she said with determination, "the aliens think we're easy targets. They're wrong." Ethan nodded but said nothing. He had seen the reports. The alien fleet was massive, more than enough to wipe out Earth's defenses in a matter of hours. The Council had already made it clear, Earth was not to be allowed a place in the galaxy. It was time to teach them a lesson they wouldn't forget. "Battle will begin soon," Layla continued, her voice steady but filled with fire. "But we have one thing they don't. We fight for our home, for our people, and we won't back down." Ethan looked at her and then turned his gaze back to the stars. He had never doubted humanity's strength. "Prepare the fleet," he said. "We'll show them that Earth is not a planet to be underestimated." As the officers scattered to their stations, Ethan felt a wave of pride. They weren't just fighting for Earth. They were fighting for the future of every human, and the future of every species that had the courage to stand up to the darkness of space. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. The quiet hum of the command center was replaced by the sharp sound of alarms. The alien fleet had arrived. Ethan Hayes stood up, his heart racing. The time for talk was over. "All ships report in," he ordered. His voice was calm, but inside he could feel the tension building. The alien ships were massive, their weapons designed to destroy anything in their path. But Ethan had seen his crew face worse. They had the will to fight, and that was something no alien weapon could match. Captain Lila Morgan stood by his side, her eyes focused on the screens. "The fleet is positioned around Earth's orbit," she said. "We've got a good perimeter, but they're fast. We'll need to move quickly to keep up." Ethan nodded. "We'll hold our ground, no matter what." On the screens, the alien ships loomed closer. They were unlike anything humanity had seen before, sleek and deadly, with weapons that seemed capable of wiping Earth off the map in seconds. But the human fleet had something the aliens didn't, the spirit of defiance. The first volley of energy blasts came from the alien ships, lighting up the darkness of space. The force of the blast shook Earth's fleet, but the ships held strong. Ethan's fingers tightened around the controls, his eyes scanning the data. "Return fire," he commanded. "We can't let them get any closer." The human ships unleashed their weapons, bright streaks of energy cutting through space. The battle had begun. Lila moved to her station, issuing commands to the fleet. "Focus on the lead ship. We need to take out their command center." Ethan watched as the lead alien ship took damage. The aliens were quick to respond, firing back with deadly precision. The human fleet was outnumbered, but they were fighting with everything they had. "We're making them think twice," Lila said, her voice filled with confidence, but Ethan knew better. The aliens were powerful, and this was only the beginning. They would keep coming, wave after wave, until Earth was nothing but a memory. The thought of losing this fight was unbearable. He couldn't let it happen. "Keep fighting," he said, turning to his crew. "We won't give up. Not today." The battle raged on, and the human fleet fought with everything they had, determined to show the galaxy that Earth would never be an easy target. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. The battle had been raging for hours. Ethan stood at the front of the command center, his eyes fixed on the screens. The alien ships were relentless, but so were the humans. Earth's fleet was holding its ground, but just barely. The aliens had the advantage in numbers, and their weapons were far more advanced. Still, humanity refused to back down. "Commander, we're running low on fuel," Captain Lila Morgan reported, her voice tense. "We can't keep this up much longer." Ethan didn't hesitate. He knew the cost of failure. "We hold for as long as we can. We can't let them break through." The battle had reached a critical point. Alien ships were coming in fast, firing their weapons with deadly accuracy. One of Earth's ships, the Daring, was hit, and explosions tore through its hull. The crew on the bridge went silent as the ship's systems flickered and died. "We've lost the Daring," Leela said quietly, a grim note in her voice. Ethan's heart sank. Losing a ship was hard, but it was a reality of war. He forced himself to stay calm. "We'll mourn later. For now, we keep fighting." He turned to the communications officer. "Get all remaining ships to form a defensive line. We need to buy time." The officer nodded, relaying the order. Earth's remaining fleet quickly adjusted their positions, creating a barrier around Earth. It was a desperate move, but they had no choice. Ethan glanced at the screen showing the alien ships closing in. The alien fleet was pushing harder now, sensing victory. Their lead ship was still intact, and their weapons were tearing through the human defenses, but then something unexpected happened. One of the alien ships veered off course, breaking formation. At first, no one knew why. But then, a second alien ship did the same. A third followed, and soon, several others were pulling away from the main fleet. "What's happening?" Lila asked. Staring at the screen in disbelief, Ethan's mind raced. Could it be? Were the aliens starting to doubt themselves? Suddenly, the communications officer spoke up. "Sir, we've intercepted a message. It's from the rebel faction within the alien empire. They're offering to help us." Ethan couldn't believe his ears. The rebels had been fighting the empire for years, but he never imagined they would come to Earth's aid. This was the break they needed. "Send the signal to our fleet," Ethan ordered. "We fight together or not at all." The message spread quickly through the human fleet, and for the first time in hours, there was a glimmer of hope. The rebels had joined the fight. Asterisk, 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 the alien ships began to shift as the rebel forces joined the fight. Earth's fleet had a new chance, but it was still not easy. The alien commanders, shocked by the sudden change, scrambled to adjust. The battle was chaotic, with blasts lighting up space, but there was now a glimmer of hope. Ethan watched the display on the screen, his eyes scanning the rebel ships as they dove into the fight. They were smaller, more agile than the rest of the alien fleet, and they knew how to use the weakness of their former empire. The once unified alien fleet was now in disarray, with the rebels attacking from behind while Earth's forces held the front. "Keep pushing forward," Ethan ordered. "We need to break their lines. No mercy." Captain Lila Morgan stood beside him, her face hard with determination. "The rebels are moving fast. We need to keep up with them." Ethan nodded. The rebels had an advantage. They knew the Empire's tactics, their weaknesses, and the layout of their ships. The humans had their resolve, and now they had an ally with knowledge they could not have gained on their own. The tide of the battle was turning, but it wasn't over yet. On the screens, Ethan saw the alien command ship, the largest and most powerful in the fleet. It still hovered in the center, firing down deadly energy blasts. Ethan knew that as long as that ship was operational, the alien forces had a chance to regroup. "We need to target their command ship," Lila said. Her eyes narrowed as she studied the battlefield. "If we take it down, the rest of the fleet will fall apart." Ethan agreed. "All ships, focus fire on the alien command ship. We have to end this now." Earth's ships and the rebel fleet fired in unison, their weapons striking the massive alien ship. The blasts were powerful, but the ship was well protected, and it continued to retaliate, taking down a few human ships in the process. "Keep going," Ethan shouted. "We can do this." The alien ship started to show signs of damage, and soon, explosions tore through its outer defenses. The battle had reached its peak. With the combined strength of Earth's fleet and the rebel forces, the alien command ship was finally breaking apart. Lila watched the screen, her eyes wide with anticipation. "It's working. We're getting through." Ethan's heart raced as the command ship was hit one final time, sending it into a fiery spiral toward the edge of space. The alien fleet was losing its will to fight, and the rebellion was starting to see their victory. "We've got them," Ethan said quietly. "Now we finish this." The battle was far from over, but Ethan could feel the shift. The alien fleet was crumbling. The command ship had fallen, and with it, the heart of the Empire. But the remaining alien ships were still a threat, and the humans and rebels had to finish what they had started. Ethan stood at the center of the command room, watching as the rebel ships made quick work of the smaller alien vessels. The humans had done their part, but now the rebels were showing their skill. The tide had turned, but it would only stay in their favor if they stayed focused. Captain Lila Morgan looked at Ethan. "They're scattered. The command ship is gone. But we still have to be careful. Some of their ships are pulling back, but others are still fighting." Ethan nodded. He understood the danger. A few alien ships, though damaged, were still launching attacks, trying to regroup. It would be a mistake to think the battle was won just yet. "We can't let them escape," Lila said, her voice sharp with determination. "We need to hit them hard now, before they can recover." Ethan agreed. "Give the order. No survivors." The human and rebel fleets closed in, making a final push. The rebel ships were quick, darting through the alien vessels with precision, picking off stragglers and attacking from unexpected angles. Earth's ships followed, their firepower relentless as they cut through the remaining alien defenses. As the last of the alien ships fell, a message appeared on the screen. The rebel fleet's commander, a tall alien with dark green skin, appeared. He had once been a commander in the Empire, but now he was fighting for freedom. "We've done it," he said, his voice low but filled with pride. "The Empire is finished." Ethan's eyes narrowed as he looked at the screen. "Are you sure? Can we trust your people?" The rebel leader nodded. "We were oppressed by the Empire, just like your people. We don't want war. We want peace." Ethan studied him for a long moment, then spoke. "We'll take your word for now. But if we ever cross paths again, we'll be ready." The rebel commander gave a nod of respect. "Understood. This is just the beginning." As the alien fleet fell apart, the human and rebel forces began to regroup. The battle was over, and Earth had won. The stars now knew that humanity was not a species to be underestimated. They had fought with everything they had, and they had emerged victorious. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. The victory was hard won, but it didn't bring the peace everyone had hoped for. Ethan stood on the bridge of the flagship, his eyes scanning the remains of the battlefield. The stars outside seemed so calm, but inside, Earth's fleet was far from at ease. The war with the Galactic Empire was over, but the consequences were just beginning. "We've done it," Captain Lila Morgan said, her voice steady but worn. But at what cost? Ethan looked at her, his thoughts heavy. We've lost too. Many. The fleet, the ships, our people. The price of freedom was higher than we imagined. Lila nodded, her gaze distant. And the galaxy will never be the same. We've made enemies today. Real ones. Ethan's mind raced with the truth of her words. The Galactic Empire had fallen, but many other alien races, some of them powerful and unpredictable, had been watching. They had seen what humans were capable of, and they were not pleased. The galaxy's balance of power had shifted, and not everyone would be happy about it. We need to prepare, Ethan said, turning toward the crew. This is just the beginning. Earth has earned its place among the stars, but we'll have to fight to keep it, Lila agreed. We can't afford to relax. The Empire's allies will be coming for us, and they won't be kind. As the fleet moved back toward Earth, Ethan's thoughts turned to the rebel faction. Their help had been crucial, but now their future was uncertain. Would they truly honor their word and seek peace, or would they see this victory as a chance to rise up and take more? Commander, one of the officers called out, the rebel leader is requesting a meeting. He says it's urgent. Ethan paused. Let him in. The screen flickered, and the image of the rebel commander appeared. His dark green skin seemed almost lifeless against the backdrop of space. But there was no mistaking the sincerity in his eyes. We've won, the commander said, his voice quiet. But the Empire's fall has created a power vacuum. Many factions are already preparing to fight for control. The galaxy is on the brink of chaos. Ethan's eyes narrowed. What are you suggesting? We must work together, the rebel leader said. The victory is just the first step. If we don't unite, the galaxy will tear itself apart. Ethan knew the stakes were higher than ever. They had defeated a giant, but now they would have to navigate the dangerous aftermath. The real battle for the future of the galaxy was only just beginning. Asterisk, 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 the days following the battle were tense. Earth's fleet had returned home, but the peace they had fought for seemed fragile. Commander Ethan Hayes stood in the war room, surrounded by officers who were making plans for the future. Earth had proven its strength, but now the question was, could they hold on to it? We can't ignore the reality, Captain Lila Morgan said, looking over the reports. The rebel leader is right. The galaxy is shifting. There are factions out there who will see Earth as a new target. Ethan leaned back in his chair, his eyes staring at the holographic map of the galaxy. The war had ended, but a new kind of battle was starting. We need to strengthen our position. If we don't, we'll be vulnerable. Layla nodded. We've already begun fortifying Earth's defenses, but we can't do it alone. We'll need allies. Ethan understood. The rebel leader had warned them, and now Earth's survival depended on forming new alliances. The problem was, not all alien races would be eager to join forces with a planet that had just defeated the mighty Galactic Empire. We'll have to approach this carefully, Ethan said. We can't rush into alliances without understanding the risks. The wrong move could make enemies of those who might have been allies, Lila agreed. But we don't have time to waste. The galaxy is already in chaos. We need to act fast or we'll be swallowed up by it. As they discussed their options, a young officer entered the room, looking worried. Commander, we've received a message from one of the galactic leaders. They want to meet. They're offering a potential alliance. Ethan's interest piqued. Who is it? The officer hesitated for a moment before responding. It's the Torkins. They've been neutral up until now, but they've been watching Earth's victory. They're interested in talking. The Torkins were a powerful race known for their advanced technology and cunning strategies. They were not easily trusted, but their resources could make a significant difference. Ethan exchanged a glance with Lila, arranged the meeting. But we'll be careful. We can't afford to trust anyone too quickly." As the officer left to send the invitation, Ethan couldn't help but feel the weight of what was ahead. The battle for survival had shifted from space battles to political maneuvering. Earth had won the war, but the real struggle had only just begun. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. The Torkans were a powerful and ancient race, and their reputation had preceded them. As Ethan stood in the meeting room, he couldn't shake the feeling that he was walking into a trap. The Torkans were known for their cunning, and though they had been neutral in the war, they were always calculating, always looking for an advantage. Doors slid open, and the Torkan ambassador entered, followed by 2 guards. The ambassador was tall, his skin a pale blue, his eyes sharp and calculating. He wore the regal attire of his people, with intricate designs that spoke of their long history. Despite his calm demeanor, Ethan could sense the weight of power behind his every movement. "Commander Hayes," the ambassador said, his voice smooth but cold. "It's a pleasure to finally meet you in person. Earth's victory has been impressive." Ethan didn't trust the smooth words, but he kept his expression neutral. "Thank you. We didn't come here to celebrate victories. We're here to talk about the future." The Torkan ambassador smiled slightly, but it didn't reach his eyes. "Of course, the future. Your victory has shaken the galaxy, Commander. Many of the smaller races are watching closely, wondering what comes next. You've earned their respect, but not their loyalty." Ethan was careful with his words. "And what about your loyalty? What are you offering?" The ambassador's smile widened, though it was not warm. "The Torkans are interested in an alliance. We can offer resources, technology, and protection. In return, we seek influence in the new order of the galaxy. We believe Earth's place in the stars can be secure, but only if you're willing to partner with us." Ethan paused. The offer was tempting. The Torkans had access to technologies far beyond what Earth could currently produce, and their fleets were among the most advanced in the galaxy. But the price was high. "You want influence," Ethan said slowly. "But why should we trust you? What's your true motive?" The ambassador's gaze hardened, but he didn't break eye contact. "Survival, Commander. The galaxy is changing, and we want to ensure that we're not left behind. If Earth wants to secure its future, you'll need us. The galaxy respects strength, but alliances can change the balance." Ethan felt the weight of the decision pressing on him. The Torkans were not to be trusted, but their offer was one Earth couldn't ignore. The future of his people was on the line. "I'll need time to consider your offer," Ethan said, standing up. "But know this, Earth does not bow to anyone." The Torkan ambassador nodded, a cold glint in his eyes. "We shall see, Commander. We shall see." After the tense meeting with the Torkans, Ethan returned to Earth's flagship. The offer from the Torkan ambassador weighed heavily on his mind. He had always known that in space, power and alliances were everything, but trusting the Torkans was a risk he wasn't sure he was ready to take. As soon as he entered the command center, Captain Lila Morgan met him. She could tell by his expression that the meeting hadn't gone as planned. "What happened?" she asked quietly. Ethan took a deep breath before responding. The Torkans offered an alliance. Resources, technology, protection. In exchange for influence, they want a say in the future of the galaxy. Lila raised an eyebrow. "And what did you say?" Ethan looked at her, his face hard. "I didn't give them an answer. I need to think about it. But I don't trust them. There's something off about their offer." Lila nodded in agreement. "They're always looking for a way to gain power. They'll help us, but only if it benefits them. We can't forget that." Ethan stared at the stars on the screen in front of him, lost in thought. "But we need them, Lila. The galaxy is full of enemies." The Torkins are powerful, and if we turn them away, we might not survive the next battle." "I know," Lila replied, "but what if they turn on us? What if they only want us for their own gain? We've already fought the Empire. We don't want to trade one enemy for another." Ethan was silent for a long time. The truth was, he knew Lila was right. The Torkins had their own agenda, and Earth was just another piece in their plan. But Earth's position in the galaxy was still fragile, and without strong allies, they could easily be overrun by more dangerous factions. It felt like they were walking on a razor's edge. "Have you spoken with the rebels?" Ethan asked, changing the subject. "What are they saying about the Torkins?" "They're cautious," Lila replied. "They're still figuring out where they fit in all this. They know the Torkins are powerful, but they also know that power can be dangerous. They don't want to be controlled by another empire." Ethan rubbed his forehead, feeling the weight of the decision. "We'll have to make a choice soon. The Torkins won't wait forever." Layla nodded. "Whatever you decide, Commander, we'll stand with you." Ethan took one last look at the stars before turning back to face his crew. Earth's future was uncertain, and the path ahead was filled with danger. But one thing was clear: they would face it together. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. The days after the meeting with the Torkins were filled with uncertainty. Earth's fleet was preparing for the next move, but Ethan couldn't shake the feeling that they were on the edge of something much larger than any battle they had fought before. The galaxy was watching, and the choices they made now would shape the future for generations. In the command center, Ethan and Captain Lila Morgan stood by the map of the galaxy, studying the possible outcomes. Earth's position was stronger than ever, but it was still fragile. There were many forces out there that would see Earth as a threat, and there were factions within the galaxy that were just waiting for the right moment to strike. "We've been offered an alliance with the Torkins," Ethan said, breaking the silence. "But I still don't trust them. They have their own agenda." Lila nodded. "I agree. But the Torkins are a force to be reckoned with. If we refuse, we could be making a powerful enemy." Ethan paused, thinking about everything that had happened. They had just defeated the Galactic Empire, but the victory had come at a cost. The galaxy had been forever changed, and humanity was now in a position it had never been before, standing at the center of it all. "Maybe it's time to take control of our own future," Ethan said, his voice firm. "We don't need to rely on anyone, not the Torkins or anyone else. We've already proven that we can fight for what's ours." Lila looked at him, her eyes filled with respect. "You're right. Earth's strength lies in our unity. We can't forget that." Just as Ethan was about to speak, the communication officer called out, "Commander, we have an incoming transmission. It's from the rebels." Ethan's heart skipped a beat. The rebels had been a wild card in the galaxy's struggle, and their support had been crucial in the fight against the Empire. If they were reaching out now, it could mean something important. "Put it through," Ethan said. The screen flickered and the rebel leader appeared. His face was serious, and there was no sign of the usual calm demeanor. "Commander Hayes," the rebel leader began, "we've been watching closely, and we've made a decision. We believe that Earth should not make deals with the Torkins. The galaxy is looking for a new path, one without the control of empires or tyrants. We want to help you build that path." Ethan felt a surge of hope. The rebels, once enemies of the Empire, were now offering their support to create a new future for all races, one where no one would dominate the others. "We'll stand with you," the rebel leader continued. "Together, we can forge a new galaxy." Ethan smiled, feeling the weight lift from his shoulders. The decision was made. Earth would lead, not follow. They would build the future, and they would do it on their own terms. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk.